Let's delve into the teachings of the Tehuti, the master of masters. So before we delve into it, I just want to give a definition of what we mean by esoteric and esoteric. And I'm going to read an excerpt, because last time is here, called esoteric or esoteric. This is from a guidance from the master for the ancient Egyptian order, AEO. I'm going to scroll to you. That was available. I don't know if it's available now. So let's begin. Why esoteric? The word esoteric comes from the Greek esoterikos, from esotero, meaning within, from Old English in, from Old English into, inside. When a person is not restricted by beliefs and faith, that person is in a state of esoteric, a reliability on the inner you, the creative you, the God you, the divine you. No room for beliefs or faith, only facts and confirmation. It's the universe influenced in the domain of divinity, but inside the immediate environment. This is what we mean by esoteric. Esoteric, we are studying about the divine that's within inside of ourselves. We say exoteric. Why exoteric? The word exoteric comes from the Latin exoterikos, external, from Greek exotericus, from exotero, outside, from ex out. When a person is restricted by beliefs and faith, as in religion, that person is in a state of exoteric, all outside influences and beliefs. No reliability on the inner you, the creative you, the God you, the divine you. It's the outside influence, or not even out of the universe influence in the domain of divinity, but outside the immediate environment. What you have been convinced of or made to believe or accept blocks your divinity. What you've been made to believe and accept about yourself. Now, when we say about what we have been convinced of or made to believe or accept, it does not just start and stop at religion, but we have to take into consideration the environment by which we are in. And it's not in the best interests of those who construct this environment or the institutions of knowledge to give us the right knowledge. Or what they would do is they give us right knowledge with trick knowledge and mix it together, you see. Or let's say give us right knowledge just to add a bit of spice to the food. Like when you're making a dish, you don't put too much salt in the food, you just put enough, just give it a bit of flavor. And that's what they've done, okay? I'll just read this, that's it here. It is in the best interest of those who controls the institutions of knowledge to control the paradigm that serves them. And the goal of each and every one of us is to become a fully realized being, whereby we gain random access to divine or one of the creative forces of will referred to as Uhi, which we can go into later. Okay, so in this class, we'll be going into the sacred wisdom of Tehuti, and we'll be also going into a scroll called the Kabbalion, which is like a rendition by the Greeks, a poor rendition of that by the Greeks of the sacred wisdom of Tehuti, which you can read later on. And that's why the master actually released this particular scroll to give us the right knowledge, the right wisdom, and the right understanding. So before we start, I just want to read an excerpt from actual facts. Number 10, the Huti's vision. See that? If you've got that scroll in front of you on the bookshelf, let's pull it out and let us begin. Any questions, comments, and/or observation? Don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Right, here we go. Let's start from page 1. Okay. You can read the introduction. This is from the Tehuti's vision. Then we can go into the sacred wisdom. Let's begin. Okay, Moisa. So everybody just when you see the signs that you could, when you see the signs to release the seatbelt, you take the seatbelt off and walk up and down the aisle. Come to the mic. Okay, and ask any questions. Okay, so let's read. This is page 1. Hang on, someone wants to speak. TB Bioway. You can say something. Oh, yeah, the browser wants to speak. Come up. Okay, Samuel, you want to say something, Samuel? TB.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I was trying to get a means of seeing you on video. It's a clubhouse.
It should be on Zoom. Hang on, let's have a look. Yeah, the Zoom link is, yeah, you've got the Zoom link on the chat room. If you go in the chat room, Samuel, and let's copy and paste the Zoom link, you'll be able to get on there. Okay? Okay.
Thank you. I posted the Zoom link in the thank you.
Great. Tell that for that, Samuel. Okay, let's begin now. Page 1 was the Huti's vision. Start from 1. So Huti is the Egyptian grand hierophant Pahanut. Pahanut are priesthood, those who are keepers of the secrets. The highest high priest, there you go, the keeper of the secret doctrines that are the records of existence and destiny, and he, the Huti, is the keeper of time too, named by the ancient Egyptians who date back before 10,500 years ago. He is found in the records of Dihut, which is Lower Egypt. 3. So Huti came down for Sabatat, Cyrus, and he also spent time in Zahat, Orion, and was part of the Moon and Mars project in the scene of this planet, Ptah Nun, Earth. 4. Huti, being a man from planet Res, in the 19th galaxy called Ilion. He has no mother or father, beginning of days, nor end of days. He was also known as Melchizedek, El Khidr, Rama, Yanun, and Al Qut, a spokesman for the deities. I just want to stop there. And like I said, we can shortly be reading from the excerpts from the Kabbalion. And the Greeks refer to the Huti as Hermes. What happened was that the Greeks, many of those from Greece, Rome, Asia, came into ancient Egypt to learn and sit at the feet of those venerable masters, feminines as well as masculines, or masculines as well as feminines, come to sit at their feet to learn, and took what they learned, went back to their lands. So the Greeks, from the Huti or Tehuti, they formulate their own character called Hermes. They refer to Hermes as Hermes Trismegistos, thrice times great, meaning the greatest of the great, or the master of masters. And I listened to a few podcasts on YouTube as I was doing my research, and the Europeans, they have no, how should I say, no real knowledge about the Huti, or what they refer to as Hermes. They say that he was a contemporary to Abraham, but you notice that in here we just read how The Tehuti was also known as Melchizedek. And you find in Genesis 14:18 how Abraham met up with Melchizedek and gave him 10% of the tithes. And in there it tells you how Melchizedek introduced Abraham to El Elyon, the highest. What they refer in that is the Hebrew rendition of El Elyon. But in Abraham's tonguage, because he didn't speak, he wasn't a Hebrew, he was from Ur of Chaldea, and in his tonguage, he referred to Melchizedek as either Murdoch, and he referred to not Elyon as the highest, but he would use the name Anu and Anunnaki. Okay. Okay, and in Islam, they refer to him, or Melchizedek, or Malachi Zadok, as El Khidr. But again, there's no dialogue for El Khidr. They just say El Khidr, the green one. You see, that's what they refer to, especially when they mention in the Quran about Moses or Musa or Moshe being met up with one of these, or they say one of our servants, which is El Khidr or Melchizedek or Murdoch. What's his name? Tehuti, okay, or even Yangon. There's a scroll, it's a part called Vedi or the Hutimus. It's worth getting that scroll, goes into it as well. Okay, so being in game 4, the Tehuti being a man from the planet Risk in the 19th galaxy called Ilion. He has no mother or father, beginning of days, nor end of days. He was also known as Melchizedek El Khidr. Yeah, Rama, Yanun, and Al-Qut, spokesman for the deities. Al-Qut just means the center. 5. The Tehuti is represented as a man with the head of an ibis bird, which they use as a dove in other religions. Born out of Egypt, he is crowned by the crescent moon, master of the moon cycle, and all those beings created therein. 6. The Tehuti was intimately connected with a variety of lunar functions relating to cycles of time, measure, and movement as divine scribe. I just want to stop there. When it says the master of the moon cycle. Now, we as Nagara Nadu, people often, I think someone's having a problem with the Zoom link. Hang on, let me just see if I could get the Zoom link for you all, and I'll see if I could get it, and see if I could make another Zoom link onto Clubhouse for you all. You try this one, fam. Right. Okay. Yeah. So you know that people often ask, well, since we have all this power, why is it that we was enslaved? A question that always comes up: why is it that we've enslaved for the past 6,000 years, etc., etc.? Well, the reason why we was enslaved was because of the fact that was something done deliberately by the higher beings. Because if we had, especially with the removal of the barotheric gland, everyone knows about the barotheric gland? Barotheric gland is the gland that used to be in the hippocampus region of the brain. And that gave us random access to the divine, meaning that all our energy centers were in full operation, was in full power, but it was maimed or it was removed. Especially with the feminines as well, it was maimed or it was removed. And with the removal or the maiming of the barotheric gland, we never had the power. So we were susceptible to being under subjugation by what we refer to as the 6 ether forces. But when we say the moon cycle, what we mean is that we have 4 6,000-year cycles, 2 sun and 2 moon cycles. And how the clock or the clock of destiny works, it moves counterclockwise. So if you look at from right to left, so we look through a circle from the right hand, we have the revolutionary cycle, we have the origination cycle, the origination cycle and the evolutionary cycle. So there's a universal cycle that lasts 72 million years. And there are cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles. And we have a 24,000 year cycle. And the combination of the 24,000 year cycle is the evolutionary cycle. And we are just out of from the year 2000 AD, we came out of the moon cycle, the evolutionary cycle. Now we're in a revolutionary cycle, meaning the forces, the nine ether forces is pulling us back up again in this revolutionary cycle. When we use the word revolutionary cycle, we hear the word revolution, or to reveal. To reveal what? To reveal that which was concealed. The doors were shut. We never had what we refer to as the master's key or the master key. We'll talk more about it later on. But now we've got the master key. The locked doors is now becoming unlocked. It's the coming of Pineal and Wu-Sabat. So the master's predecessors, being the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, Noble Jolly, etc., they're the ones who laid the seed. But Pineal is here to finish the job off, right? Or to raise those beings back up into that state of Attire, just like himself, Nadara. That's what he's come to do, to wake us back up again, feminines and masculines. So we will be ruling once again. Okay, so this is why we need to have the right knowledge, or this nine knowledge. Okay, so let's continue reading. So that's what I was saying. So with the parathyroid gland, if that was still intact, we'll be ruling in the moon cycle. However, the master is saying that there are those amongst us whose parathyroid gland has been restored. Even though the parathyroid gland has been restored, meaning that re-implanted, but that implantation, you wouldn't even know about it because the hybrid could just take you up like that, like we teach in the class now. They could cut through time, take you up, put the gland in, nip back the matrix and put you back here. By the time you say, yeah, that's what I say. In that moment of time, they could put the gland in and obviously be controlled. See, so that's, and the parathyroid gland works with the tonsils and the appendix. See, so it says master moon cycle means just that. They had many feminines and masculines, Nadaru, deities who were ruling of the moon cycle, which you can tell by the headdress, etc. 6. The Tehuti was intimately connected with a variety of lunar functions. Relating to cycles of time, measure, and movement as divine scribe. 7. The Tehuti is depicted on the walls of the many Egyptian monuments, the green hue, which is what the Muslims refer to as el-Khidr, the green one. Now let's stop there, because that's just an excerpt of the Tehuti to give a little background. We go more into that. So, just to water our palates. If anybody got any questions thus far? Continue. There's somebody, Benji B, I think you wanted to say something, Samal? Yes, not. Right, what we're going to do now, I want to read, right, this is an introduction. I want to read the introduction to the sacred wisdom of Tehuti. There's going to be a lot of reading. So make sure you get a pen and paper out, make sure you get your notes. Clubhouse Zoom, make sure you get your notes. Right, now I just want to say something quickly about this particular scroll, the Sacred Wisdom of Tehuti. Came out quite a few years back. And when this scroll first came out, and I read it, it was like reading a blank page. You open it, but it does got words in it. It was invisible. I didn't have a damn clue. Didn't have a clue. But what's happened is, because over the years after the Pineal has revealed a lot of information from the master secrets, actual facts, and Patarok, we started to grow in intellect. And as we start to grow, our consciousness starts to expand. But it's not just reading, but it's application. Because you can read as much as you like the manual, but unless you sit in the driving seat, right, you're never going to know how to drive the car. You can know about this, that, about the engine, and da 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 da. But have you driven the car? No, I know this. So, yeah, we know that, you know, this, put the key in the ignition, it turns and piston work, etc., etc. But have you ever driven the car? So without driving the vehicle, without putting it into application, what we have learned, it becomes perilous. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that it is our application that raises up, that gives us what the master teacher calls not just right knowledge, but confirmation, not just facts and reality, but confirmation. And what you've been taught, can it be confirmed? That's what takes us to the next level. That's what takes us to the next level. So Wu-Sabat in actuality is there to raise our intellect. And as our intellect starts to rise, it reaches a point whereby we no longer have intelligence, but we have outintelligence. We transform the information into outformation. You see, we no longer become instructors, we become outstructors. This is the graduation of what Pineal wants us to become. Masculines as well as feminines, feminines as well as masculines, to become outstructors, to have outellect, to have outintelligence. You follow? So that's the graduation process. And there comes a point whereby you're no longer talking, it's the divine inside of each and every one of us that starts to talk. Yeah. So remember, as we said earlier on, we began the class to the brothers here, that this doctrine really is not a learning tool, as it is more a remembering tool of what's locked into our DNA. You see, they call it junk DNA. We say, no, it's not junk DNA, it's our jumping DNA, or what we call satellite DNA, waiting to be ignited. We want to be inflamed. That's how the master teacher put it many years ago. He put us a series of tapes called Inflammation versus Information. We become inflamed with Wu-Sabat. Okay, that awakens the divine within inside of us. Okay. So let's continue. All right, so here we go. The master's key. In this scroll here, you hear about the master's key. This is the master's key. Can you see that? The master's key. Let's read it. So when you talk about the sacred wisdom of the grand hierophant, we say grand meaning powerful, big. Hierophant is of two parts. Hero, which means sacred, and phant, which means to show or reveal. Also, when we say the grand hierophant, the Tehuti, the great revealer of that which is sacred. Amun Nebu Re'akpata. Or we say Amun Nabab Re'akpata. The Amun hidden Nabab master, etheric sun, Re'ak is etheric opener. Etheric sun opener. The Supreme Grand Hierophant Authority Attire incarnation of Tehuti. Right, let's read. Page 3, reintroduction. I, the Supreme Grand Hierophant of the Ancient Egyptian Order, take great pleasure in presenting this corrected document of a most misunderstood and underappreciated doctrine. It was presented as a Kabbalion, when in fact it was a very poor interpretation by the Hyksos Canaanites of what they wished the great Hierophant Tehuti's thoughts, that's what they call Tehuti, works for the world were about. And the onlookers were misinformed in order to sway the true seeker from the right path to the blinding light of European belief systems, and the secret doctrines were all but lost. However, I just want to stop there. Did you know that in the European, in their secret societies, they all study this. They all study this. They went, because the Greeks and the Romans, they went to ancient Egypt and what's that? Ancient Egypt, but they went to Egypt to learn, sit in the schools, but we only gave them 3 degrees of 9. The reason, and those 3 degrees locked them into person, places, and things. However, with those 3 degrees, they was able to enforce the spell, a hypnotic spell of sleep upon not just us as Nagaranadu, Negroids, but the world as well. And that's very evident when we look at, for example, COVID, when they got the whole planet on lockdown. It's that easy. That easy. See, but that's so they all went to Egypt and learned from that, the secret doctrine. And people like, I don't know if you heard of a woman called Madame Blavatsky. I don't know if you heard of her. She's like a witch back in the days. And she worked along with Hitler and some other people. And she also has got a book out called The Secret Doctrine. So, okay, then, they all know. And also, this book here, this is a very, very good book to read as well. I've been recommending this book here. It's called The Master Key System by a guy called Charles F. Pineal. This book here. And this guy here, he also studies the Egyptian mystery system. I won't be surprised he studied Kabbalion, because the information here, you also see that even the Master Scrolls as well. However, this is a really, really good book. It's worth reading. Plus the Kabbalion, you can get the Kabbalion in the PDF form online. It's also worth reading. Remember that as we are studying, as we students, we've got to read other people's works as well. We've got to look at other sources, because that helps to give us, opens up the mind, opens up our mind to verify what the Master Teacher is saying. When we say verify what the Master Teacher is saying, because that's what the Master Teacher says himself. Don't believe me, check it out. I don't want you to believe anything that I say, because I don't want to have believers. I want to have knowers who know. The reason why he says that is because he says that there's a come a time whereby you won't be able to check out what I'm saying, because it's not in his books. I want you to go and check out what I'm saying and verify once. Yeah, this is an actual fact. Based on what, and then he says, I don't want you to. So I want you to verify what I'm saying, and there will come a time whereby you know that this is an actual fact. You can't Google what's to come. The outformation of what's coming very shortly. You can't Google it. I don't know that it's true. I just know what we've been taught is true. But what we've been taught for the last, let's say, 400 years, it's been a lie anyway. You know what I mean? But hey, do you know what they say? Saying if a lie is repeated often enough, it becomes accepted as the truth. Yeah, you hear that? So when the truth does come, you don't want to accept it. You think that's a lie. You think the truth is a lie, and the lie is the truth. You see how they work? Okay, so I'll continue reading. I'll read a bit again. It was presented by the sacred of Tehuti as a Kabbalion, when in fact was a very poor interpretation by the Hyksos Canaanites of what they wished the Grand Hierophant Tehuti's works for the world were about. And the onlookers were misinformed in order to sway the true seeker from the right path, Tarok, to the blinding light of European belief systems, religions, and the secret doctrines, sacred wisdoms, were all but lost. However, this scroll work is based upon a resurrection of the world-old teachings of the Egyptian Grand Hierophant, known by many names, Tehuti, presented to you in this day and time via an incarnation. He's telling you, Tehuti incarnated in the Pineal Babylonian. Via an incarnation, a wish on the part of the original to have this record set straight, sent it and signified it through myself. Excellency Dr. Malachi Z.K. York. I have been known by many names. As in Tehuti, I've been known by many names. Amun Nubi Rakapata, Isa al Hadi al Mahdi, his master teacher himself, Dr. Malachi Z. York. I've been known by many names. Amun Nubi Rakapata, Isa al Hadi al Mahdi, that's in the school of Islam. Al Mukhlas, the savior. Al Mujaddid, the reformer. Ila Mutajassida, incarnated being, divine being in the flesh. El Qurt, the axis. Melchizedek, Malachi Zadok, my angel of Zadok, my ruler of Zadok, righteousness, justice. El Ridder, the green one. Marduk, leader of the deities. Chief Black Eagle. Malachi, which is my ruler or my angel. Finally, back to Amun Nubi Ra'akpata. In all of the depictions and drawings of Tehuti on the walls and of tombs and monuments in Tamaray, you see Tehuti drawn with a green hue, which is what the Muslims refer to as El-Khidr, against them from ancient Egypt. They are all the same with different names in different cultures. I am who I am. Okay, let's continue reading. Right, here we go. Now, in the sacred wisdom of Tehuti, you will see that we have 9 doctrines. And we're going to make a comparison with the Kabbalion, and then they don't have 7. The ones they don't have is the doctrine. So we have, read this here. This is chapter 2 of the Sacred Wisdom, page 59. The 9 Tehuti doctrines upon which the entire Tehuti teaching is based are as follows. 1, doctrine of mental. 2, doctrine of correspondence. 3, doctrine of vibration. 4, doctrine of polarity. 5, doctrine of rhythm. 6, doctrine of cause and effect. 7, doctrine of gender. And that's where it stops in the Kabbalion. But 2 more. The doctrine of growth. 9, the doctrine of breathing. I'll continue reading this. These 9 doctrines will be discussed. Robert?
Can I have the doctrines outlined again? That was too fast.
Oh,
The
okay.
first-
Yeah. No problem. Okay, the first one is the 9 Tehuti doctrines. 1, the doctrine of mental.
Correct.
Doctrine of correspondence.
Okay.
Doctrine of vibration. Doctrine of polarity. 5, doctrine of rhythm. 6, the doctrine of cause and effect. 7, the doctrine of gender. That's where it stops in the Kabbalion, but we continue. 8, the doctrine of growth. 9, the doctrine of breathing. And it says here, these 9 doctrines would, is that okay, Zamal?
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, these 9 doctrines will be discussed and explained as I proceed with these studies. A short explanation.
Hello.
Oh, go ahead.
Does this doctrine relate to universal law?
Say it again. If
Does this doctrine relate to universal law? Universal laws.
all right, yeah. These are universal laws. Yeah, that's 100% right. These are universal laws that it is pertaining to. What it is that in this particular reading, Sacred Wisdom, it is constructed so that our mind, there's like a shift in consciousness of awareness to let us know how we are linked to the universal mind. We say the mind of all. You see? So we're all linked into that. So you're 100% right, Samuel. Yes, it is all with reference to universal law. So of these 9 doctrines, we can't go through each and every one of them in one session, so it has to be categorized. Say we'll have one for each time we are up here. So today's class will be based upon the first one, the doctrine of mental. And there's a little saying here, which is mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. Have you heard that before? Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Going to delve into your mind, for there you'll find the jewels of your soul. And when we say mind, as in you're looking for diamonds or gold, you have to go deep underground and dig and dig and dig. There you'll find the jewels. When we say mind to God, what we mean is that you have to take that journey. That journey is inside out and outside in, or introspection. Start looking at yourself from the inside out and outside in. Now, what happens is that basically means, in essence, is that we've got to take time out for ourselves. Take time out, even if it's just 5 minutes. Take time out just to look at yourself, to be in silence. Take time out for yourself. Because how can we hear the divine within inside of us if there's no, what can we, if there's too much distraction? You know, there's no time for us to, let's say before you go to sleep. Actually, the two best times of the day is before you go to sleep and when you wake up. Because the reason for that is because our brainwave activity is vibrating on a higher frequency as you begin to get drowsy. And that's time to, let me just take some time out. Go over your day. How do you react to this? How do you react to that? Take time out. When you wake up in the morning, take time out before you just jump out of bed. Oh, I've got to get ready because I've got to work. Oh, hang on, I've got 5 minutes to get ready. Normally it takes you about 20 minutes. Now I've got 5 minutes to get. You got to take time out. Take time out for yourself every day. You've got, this is the journey inside out, outside in. When we say mind your mind for the jewels of your soul, that's what it means. The jewels are within inside of each and every one of us. Okay. Somebody asked a question. Dimar, I don't know if I pronounce it right. The Zosa is hardly ever mentioned. What is Zosa relation to Tehuti? Well, they all studied under this supreme being, the Tehuti. When we say they all studied under this supreme being, the Tehuti, is that all the Nadar, they were all one. Even though they had the many different schools, they're all of one accord. That's the best way I can put it. But I've never read where it says that Zosa was a student of Tehuti. They were all interrelated. Okay, that's the best that I can do. Okay. Anyone got any questions? So Jose, Hotep, Matt.
Yes, I do have one question.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Isabel.
And it's not directly related to the theme today, but it's related with a question that has been coming up lately, which is regarding each one teach one.
Go ahead.
I want to know how consistently, or what is the structure on which we consistently teach. Because I've been experiencing, remember that movie, They Live, that fight between the two friends?
Right.
I'm facing that challenge over and over. So I'm thinking personally on finding a solution for it, which is to prepare to make that transition mostly from the religion.
You have some stuff.
Yeah. But I'd like to hear from you, of course, what is the best structure in order to consistently teach?
Right. That's a very, very good question. When we say each one teach one, meaning that you said it many times, we are all students and teachers to each other. So we may be up here teaching Wu-Sabat, but we learn just as much from you as you learn from us. Those of you on Clubhouse, those of you on Zoom, those of you up here at the chat, we learn just as much as you do from us as we from you, you see. So it is, but in terms of teaching, no matter how small you think, or you might think you don't know nothing, talk to somebody. Talk to, no matter who it is, daughter, brother, sister, talk to some work colleague, talk to somebody, no matter how small it is. And because by teaching, the Master Jesus said it like this: what we teach is what we need to know ourselves. And if that, since that is the case, that renders us as students. Not only students to, we are students and teachers to each other. So it's like a continual, it's like a, what they call it, the net S symbol, the eternity symbol, like a 8 upside on its side. We're continuously learning and teaching, learning and teaching. That's what it's about. So, Samuel, the Master says, read, 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 teach, teach, teach. And that's how we go and grow from strength to strength. Okay?
I also have a question if I could ask something.
Go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, how can we use the 9 laws of Tehuti to reach spiritual perfection? Because I know Baba talks a lot about spiritual perfection. And he says it's something that like you should be willing to even sacrifice your life for, because in the pursuit of spiritual perfection, I guess all your desires will be manifested.
Right, yeah. Spiritual perfection, that's right. The reason why you should, when the Master is saying that, what it is that we know that we do not die, because we have been given misinformation about this thing called death. What we don't realize is that when we are born, we're on that road to death, because we're not living. From the time we are born, we're on the road to die or to decay. So it's like this. If you draw a line, a horizontal line, I think last time you said, that horizontal line, and that where that line begins, let's say that's birth. But below that line is darkness. We originated from the realm of darkness, and we, by way of coming through the canal of our mother, we came into the realm of light. So we are born, we grow, we mature, we decline back to that line, and we die again. We're born, mature, decline, and die. That's life's cycle. So we go back into that realm of darkness. But we know that death is just a transition from the etheric realm to the physical realm, and from the physical realm back to the etheric realm again. So death is just a doorway from one state to the next.
Okay.
You follow?
And
So, go ahead.
with that being said, because he also said death is a sickness that can be cured, do you have any awareness of like what the cure is? Like, because I heard him talk about that. I read parts of some scrolls. I know you guys have been in it longer than I have. So, because I'm also curious, when I was a kid, I would have visions. Like sometimes when I was eating food, I would almost transmute that food into light. Like I almost had this like golden light body that was inside of me and surrounding me. And whenever I ate something, it was almost like transmuted into light. And I always had dreams or thoughts of like what physical immortality would be like. But he does say that like death is a sickness that can be cured. So in your perception, or do you know the truth of how to cure it?
Well, I don't know about taking an aspirin, things like that. Is that for the heart?
Yeah, it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but like that's the most interesting thing to me, because that's what alchemy is about, right? They talk about
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
what I recommend, bro, just cash at me, and I'll give you the remedy. No, just
Yeah.
cash me, and yeah. No, for small fee, 6 figures. No,
If we had all the money in the world, it'd be easy to figure out. But like,
yeah. No, I know the Martyrs said that they found the cure to death, but I've never read where he says do this or do that.
yeah, he just says it is a sickness that can be cured. He didn't give it to us,
That's right.
or maybe he did.
Yeah, 100%. But hear this though. So we just said earlier that we never die. But what lives on is your works. Eternity is really governed by your works. The master said, do at least one great thing that you are remembered for. Only one.
Okay.
Let's do one, and you will live on in the hearts and minds of those that be left behind.
You said works or words?
Works. WORKS.
Okay,
Works.
works. I'll focus
Yeah.
on that then. I'll focus on that. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Thank you.
Focus
Talk.
on. Yeah, just do one great work, one great thing that you remember. So that you, in this realm here, do at least one great thing and you be remembered. No, I remember so there are people, that they dead years and years ago. They're still revered, revered, in today. So that's how you live on. Your singers are still playing their music, 50 years ago, still playing it. That's one thing that's required. Okay. Jose?
Yes, following Tyler's question and getting back to mine, when I was asking about the structure, is more to deal with what you just mentioned about what lives on. And I have this understanding that the spreading culture, the science and the spirituality on Wu-Sabat, that will be the legacy. So when I was asking about the structure on how we teach, I wanted to know specifically if we should use platform, Zoom, online, or even have like a physical or place on which noise right there. Why I'm saying this, because I would like to create an environment on people that resonate with Wu-Sabat can actually get answers from, such as environment that we are right here, but we can create that on our scale here.
Sorry, hang on. Somebody is on Zoom. I think they've got their mic open. Is that Angel?
Yeah,
Angel. Okay. Yeah. So you would like to
a specific structure, yes, on how consistently teach, because if we're looking into friends and family, and in a few weeks that will be done. So in order to continue the legacy, what is the specific structure? What we do as the newcomers, we also start doing online classes for those that are interested. We can spread the information on our social media platforms. What is the best way to go about it in order to teach consistently?
right, yeah. Where about are you? What country are you from? You Hindu, Samal?
I'm from Mozambique. I'm in Lusaka, Zambia, and I'm not alone. I'm as well with Tehuti. Terry is on a call as well, and well, we are two so far that were initiated in September last year. And I guess this is a common question. We would like to know on how we consistently find people, or not even find, but being able to share the knowledge that we've been acquiring over these few baby steps with those that resonate with Wu-Sabat, instead to just fight with people in unnecessary conversations.
Right, I hear that. Yes. Let me give you my experience. When I first got into the doctrine, this is years ago, we just started propagating. We were just on the road. Before we had Zoom and all this thing here, we just propagating based upon what we know. Because you can only teach what you know. And that's how we started. We just propagate. We just propagating on the streets to get people in. If you have a room whereby you can hire, or you get on Clubhouse, now we've got Clubhouse and Zoom and etc. It's more the expanse of reaching a large audience is there. But if you talk about your immediate environment, if you've got a few books that you can sell to the people that you meet on the street, that's also a good step in the right direction. But I do recommend it's just propagation. And even what we're doing now, teaching, this is another form of propagation, you see, because we not the Zamal second and what he does with the what do you call it? YouTube is reaching a large audience. When we propagate on the street, we reach an audience. When we are doing these classes, we're reaching a large audience, a larger audience than we can ever imagine to reach back in the days, you see. So I do recommend Zamal is start off reaching the audience in your locale, and if you want to expand, just expand it on Zoom and a Clubhouse that way. See, and this is how we learn. We learn by teaching. The reason why we say we learn by teaching is because it is teaching. I'm talking about myself. Is that teaching is what gives me the motivation to read the scrolls. However, I've got to assimilate what I've read in order to, what's it called, give you this dissertation, in order to relate to the listening audience. So, yeah, teaching motivates me to read the scrolls and to not only read the scrolls, as we said earlier on, but to say, does it work? Does it work? Because that's the ultimate. What reading this scroll, what has it done for you? And some people will then take to the next level. Have you got the plane? Have you got the crib? Have you got the car? The McLaren, whatever, you know, have you got, you know what I mean? You know. So but this is what the master says. It's your example that people will gravitate to more than your words. They'll look at you, people detect from your being, this guy's Billy Bull. They know that this dude, yeah. They could sense it from you, you know. They can sense that he's Billy Bull or this guy is Bobby. You don't ask all okay.
Robert, Habtui,
Go ahead.
may I just add something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, whoever that is, could you please mute your mic because it's very distracting to other people.
Is that Angel Theatre? Tawatat.
Okay. I just wanted to add quickly to what the brother's asking in regards to how you can teach and so on. So I'm not sure if you've already been in contact with the administration for newcomers, because what we can do is once you've been, put through the process, we have teachers classes on Zoom to help those that want to teach. And you can then be added to those groups and we will work with you and guide you. And when Happy Ray is saying propagation, I know he's saying it and taking it for granted that everyone knows what that means. But what we used to do, and depending on your country or the rules and regulations in your country, you can get, like a few of your brothers. But the thing is that when you're going out there to represent Wu-Sabat, you have to look and be a certain way, and then have you and a few people go somewhere, a regular spot that you will go to, if it permits. If you do have scrolls, this is why I'm saying that connecting with the administration will help, so we can get books and things to you. If not, then you're just going to be talking to people, get some leaflets or something done that you can give for people to join the classes, or if you guys can start some type of forum where you can have like a hall or something where you invite people to come. There are many ways, but what I'm saying is don't just be out there by yourself without any support, because you need to look and represent Wu-Sabat. You need to know, what you're talking about, and you need to know how to direct people. And these are all things that you can be assisted with. All right. So yeah, if you're serious, contact the administration group, which I'm sure you may already be. If you're not, then leave your email and your telephone number in the chat, you know, you can instant message me or anybody else that is part of the administration, and we can contact you and carry that forward. Tawa, I yield.
Tower Taxamo. Just to quickly reiterate what Saken just said, basically it's about the attire. Back in the days when we was under School of Religion, and we said Ansar Allah, we dressed in white and we stood out. Even though we just wear white, we stood out from the rest. And today now, in 2025 AD, or we say hereafter, HA, it is our headdress that really stands out. And that's why, and our garb, that's why the Master Jesus says is that all cultures, they have a headdress that's representative of them. And in Wu-Sabat, our headdress is representative of who and what we are. And not only the headdress, but also our garbs that we wear. You don't see it. It is distinct. So then when we dress a certain way, look at these guys. And that people will gravitate to you just based upon your uniform or the garbs that you're wearing, just that alone. Then, you know, teach based upon what you read. Read, teach. Okay? The formula is really simple. See, so I think what it is that because we've been in the doctrine for years and years, we just take it for granted. Yeah, just go out and teach, you know. But if you're in a working environment, obviously, if you're in the building site, you can't really wear the full attire. But you work, you know, you talk to your brethren or your sister, and yeah, that's how it goes. Okay. So that's any more questions? Any more questions before we continue? No more? Okay, let's continue. Okay, so this is so we haven't started yet. The doctrine of mental, sacred was Tehuti, and it reads, I said, mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. This doctrine of mental, embodies the right knowledge that all is mental and each has a mind. So, Anali, you've got to say something? Your hand just touched the mic. Okay, let's continue reading. This doctrine embodies the right knowledge that all is mental and each has a mind. It explains that par tempter the all, we say par pa'ut, the all, which is the reality underlined in all the outward and inward manifestations and appearances, seen and unseen, which we know under the terms of existence. The material existence, the ethereal existence, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, ether, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses. One sense subdivided into many. I'll stop there. When you say our material senses, we're talking about what we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. But all that is really one sense, which is the sense of touch. And even that is perception. But here he says that it's really touch. One sense subdivided into many is ka'a, spirit, ba'a, soul, khatat, body, which in itself is knowable and definable, but which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite, living mind in par tempter or par pa'ut the all. I'm going to say par pa'ut the all. The threefold you, kha, ba, khat. The kha, ba, and the khat. You have touched your khat, felt it through your ka'a, spirit, accepted the way it felt with your ba'a, soul. Khat, ka, ba. See, hear, taste, smell, and feel, all in khat, the physical body. Knowing this is in ka, the spiritual body, and being able to appreciate it is ba'a, soul. The last time we said, somebody said, how do you know if a person has ba'a, soul? And we said that our soul is what makes a person an empath. They are concerned, not with self and kind and the environment of which they live in. Basically, they are appreciative of all. That is Ba'a soul. There you go. All these are but touch. Our five senses: see, hear, taste, smell, and feel are all but touch. All these are but touch. All is I am. All is meaning all is existence. I am existence. Otherwise, we won't be here. When Partner Babylon says all is I am, all is existence. I am existence. All can, I can. What all can do, I can do. It also explains, when we say it, you talk about this doctrine of mental, also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation in Papapot the all, subject to the laws of created things if physical. Because in the physical realm, there are laws that's different from the laws in the non-physical realm. Okay. However, as we read on in this particular scroll, you see how as we start off, as we said before the class started, we talk about when you come into the temple, you come as a neophyte, beginner, then you elevate to an adept, then a hierophant or a master. And as you're elevating, you begin to use the laws to your advantage. Or you find this in the law, doctrine of cause and effect, whereby you become a causer of the causes that creates the effect. You see, basically, you now have the ability to cause things into existence or cause things to create a desired effect or result. The first thing you need to work on is yourself, or discipline yourself, and that's the journey. Okay. Anali, you're up there on Zoom. Say something. Nothing doesn't know. Continue reading. Okay. The Papa the all subject to it sacred wisdom, doctrine of mental also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation in part tempter, the all, subject to the laws of creative things if physical, and that the universe as a whole and in its parts or units has its existence in the mind of the all, as does all, everything, in which mind we live and move and have our being, person, places, and things, I, you, they. Everything is within the mind of the all. So when you may hear on YouTube or whatever, they say that we live in a matrix. Well, when you say the matrix, we talk about the mind, the infinite mind of Ha'ot, all. Or we say Ha Kale Makwanat, the omniverse. And as we elevate in those degrees, the journey is to gravitate to the center of Ha'ot. Rohbat, Sama.
Tony, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, I do have a question though. You were just making a statement. I'm not sure if you were making a statement or reading from the doctrine of mental where you were speaking about the soul. Was that from the doctrine of mental?
Oh no, that's just from about the soul. No, I just in here it does mention about what I was explaining was that the last time he's here, somebody asked a question, how does a person know whether they have soul or not? And he said it's what makes them an empath. Is that what you're making reference to, Zamal?
That's correct. Yes.
Well done, yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I haven't read. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you.
Well, wait. So of course, I haven't read the doctrine of mental in a while. So does the doctrine of the mental speak on the soul or not?
I think later on he may talk about it. Later on he may talk about the soul. But if you want to know more, if you want to know specifically more about the soul, go to we have a part up called, I don't know if you got that one, soul, spirit. Do you have that one?
Oh yeah, I think I do have that one. I put down.
Yeah, that one there, that really goes into it. That's one of the ones that really comes to mind in my immediate mind. I read that one, that gives a lot. Yeah, but in the past, Pineal has written various scrolls on about the soul and the spirit. But this particular part of soul, spirit, he ties it all in. Okay, and plus with the different layers of the physical sheath, he ties it all in that particular part of soul, spirit.
Well, wait. Can I ask one more question?
Yep.
I want to take up the time.
Sure.
I definitely want you to finish reading.
Go ahead.
It's kind of off topic, but you're in the UK, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So do y'all have a propagation program where y'all are out and about and with the scrolls where you propagate person to person or in person?
Yeah. Actually, it's a good thing you said that because we just started a propagation program again. It was last week, Saturday. So we got there, we got the scrolls in our hands, and we just go on the street and just propagate person to person. But what is that here in the UK, or especially here in London area, right? We've got to be very cautious because they don't like it when we sit at a table and we've got the books out unless we've got a license. So once you have the license, then you can go and sit at a table and propagate, spread the word. Yeah.
Well, wait, because here I'm in the United States, particularly in South. Certain places you can set up a table. In certain places you can. They're not as strict, but certain places you do have to have a license to set up. And I was just curious about your propagation program in the UK, how effective it was, because I was examining the propagation program as we were out before in the South. Like the mentality in the North and in the South in the U.S. is a bit different. So I was curious if, y'all in propagating, were y'all encountering more receptivity to the doctrine versus certain areas where people are less receptive?
Oh, yeah.
Was that clear?
Yeah, I hear that. In terms of areas, based on my personal experience, not to a really high degree, but without a doubt, we do come across people. Some people are interested, and some won't. That's just how it is. Some people will stop. But what, as the Ken did mention, what does happen is what really gravitates a lot of people is our attire, how we dress. A lot of people that gravitate. And even people from other, I remember we was propagating here in Croydon, London here, and yet I think the Hebrew Israelites, or I think Hebrew Israelites, them guys, they pulled us because they see how we dress. I know asking us questions, but they're screaming and shouting their own doctrine. You see, so but we are back in the days we was propagating it's gone a bit off topic, fam. Back in the days when we were propagating, we was getting into dialogue or debate, but now we've grown. We don't have time for that. You know, there's no more debate whether your God is good and my God is bad. We don't really get into that anymore. See, so but the master did say, or master does say, is that if a person's religious, that's their crutch. So too much truth can be just as much a detriment as a lie. So if you've got to replace fiction with fact. So as you remove one brick, make sure you replace that with another, so they maintain their stance. So when we are teaching, we should have now not only the right knowledge, but we should have the wisdom of knowing how to put across to the individual or individuals so as not to rock their boat or pull down the shutters. But to be in dialogue with a person for about a good half an hour, 45 minutes, then they say, yeah, see you later, thanks, and turn the other way, right? No, they ain't got time for that. You know, obviously you could tell, you could tell within a few seconds or a few minutes whether a person is receptive or not. And the thing is to ask them questions. To get what?
Recording stopped.
Ask them questions pertaining to what they ascribe and subscribe to see where they're at. And that way we can intravenously give them a bit more of the food for the gods. Otherwise furnishing with baby milk. Okay, so right. What do you need? Antaka, yeah, forward. I just want to look at the chat here. Somebody asked the question, what is Zosa in relation to Tehuti? And we have certainly put Tehuti and Zosa are part of the 24 elders. Yeah, that's correct, yeah. Thanks for the reminders about that. Right, going back to this doctrine of mental. So, you read, this doctrine, the doctrine of mental, by establishing the physical and ethereal mental nature of all things and their physical part in the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which, without such explanation, you end up with blind faith, false hopes and beliefs in spookism, chasing a ghost god to an unknown and unproven place to receive gifts you are not worthy, no matter how good you pretend to be, just so you won't get burnt in an eternal fire, hell. So what he's saying here is that, it made reference to religion, that we're not taught about the realm beyond the physical realm. That, oh, you need good to go to heaven, and that's it. If you're bad, you go to hell. We need more than that. We need more than that. We need the information. We need to know that when they say that about this being called God or Allah or Yahweh or His way or whatever way, that it is within each. The deity is within each and every one of us. The divine or the deity or the God that we seek is ourselves, that we look in the mirror all the time. So keep that away, keep that knowledge away from the individuals, then you keep them under subjugation. See, so that's how it works. To enforce the spell of, the Master Teacher puts it like this, enforce the spell of spiritual ignorance and racial blindness. Spiritual ignorance, there's only one God. Racial blindness, we're all the same underneath the skin. You know, the only difference is our skin. We all got blood, that's it, that means that we're all the same. But when you say racial blindness, meaning that we're not being, as they term it, racist, because when you say racist, there's right racism and there's wrong racism. Right racism is doing for self and kind, having love for self and kind. wrong racism is oppression, suppression, and repression. That's wrong racism based upon the race. There's good white people and there's bad black people. The white people help you more than your own. See? So there's right racism and wrong racism. So, you make a deal with your God, all which is non-understandable and defy scientific realities. So, religion now, let's say Wu-Sabat. People say, what is Wu-Sabat? Or what is Wu-Nawab? Wu-Sabat is our spiritual science and universal knowledge. And when we say spiritual science, meaning it's very definable. It is a scientific basis to Wu-Sabat. It can be proven scientifically, meaning that the beings or our deities or our gods, for lack of a better word, are what we call nature scientists of the highest of orders, because they are the ones that put things into place in the etheric form or non-physical form. Is scientific. And when we say non-physical form, we don't like to use the word spiritual, but we say below the atom or the subatomic realms or the quantum realms and beyond. But they now know that the hydrogen atom is not the smallest particles in existence. There are more finer particles and finer particles and finer particles that is undetectable by physical instrumentation. Okay. And that when we go to sleep, we're dreaming, we're now moving interdimensionally beyond the third physical realm, the third dimension, when we go to sleep and we're dreaming. See? And if you was able to look, when you're dreaming, you was able to look at your dreams from your physical eyes, the movements you'll be doing in your dreams will be so fast you won't see it. Because we are vibrating on a faster frequency. Things are moving quicker in your dream state than in your waking state. And I talked to one brother since last week, Sunday, and we was talking about the pineal gland. He said, or the third eye has decalcified. I said to him that what it is that when we go to sleep, which eyes are we using then? Because your eyes are closed, it's all, your eyes are closed, you're sleeping. You're not using your physical eye, because you see things when you're dreaming, so what eye are you using? When you go to sleep, you're hearing things, not your senses cut off. What ears are you using? Are you hearing? You're not using your physical eyes to see. You're not using your physical ears to hear in your dreams. We talked about this the last time we said. We've got the third eye and the third ear. These are our higher senses. And the Master also said that when you're dreaming, and let's say you run away from something, and you seem to be moving in slow motion, he said it's because you're traveling at the speed of light. You jump at or you can't break the speed of light barrier. Again, if you're able to see yourself in your dreams from the physical eyes, you won't be able to see it because it's moving too fast. Because things are on a faster vibratory rate when you're dreaming. So we're dreaming interdimensionally. You can discipline yourself, whereby they call it lucid dreaming, whereby you're fully aware in that dream state, and it's like you're looking at yourself in the third person in the lucid dreaming state. We have the ability and capability to program ourselves before we go to sleep to extract or to seek guidance in that dream state, so that when we wake up, bam, it's there. But we're not taught this information. These are outformation. That's what you use the word here. These are outformation knowledge that we should be taught in the schools. you know that there's no law saying we cannot set up our own educational system. And you know that it's coming. The master says in the reading called, if you go on YouTube, put the reading, it's called, what's that reading called? The reading, the Atomic. There's a reading called the Atomic. Go on YouTube, type in the reading, the Atomic. The Bruce Tastrak is the room there. And in there it says, what's to come? Next level out formation. And when that comes, we'll be setting up our own educational system constructed by us, for us. And we'll be disseminating what we call transcendent concepts. That's what you use in that reading. Transcendent concepts. Out formation to the next level. This is what we teach our children. We don't teach our children about Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. The forces that propagate that is dissipated in the atmosphere. Nine ether, 9 knowledge, 9 reason, 9 mind is now interpenetrating the atmosphere. So we've got to raise our intellect, raise it up, raise it up. That's why we have these classes. We cannot keep on talking about isms and schisms. Some people need isms and schisms, but we've got to give them the science behind it. Behind it isms and schisms, and bring them out intravenously and inject Wu-Sabat, Wu-Sabat. That's the purpose of these classes. Okay? So I'll read it again. An understanding of this great Egyptian doctrine of mental in relation to mind. Each individual has a mind which is fed from the same mental reservoir, which enables each individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental and to apply the same to his or her well-being and advancement. Read that again. An understanding of this great Egyptian doctrine of mental in relation to mind, meaning that we are receiving all thought is coming from the mental reservoir, and that portion is what we call my mind. Okay. Each individual has a mind which is fed from the same mental reservoir, which enables each individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental and to apply these laws to his her well-being and advancement. The operative word here is advancement. So once we increase our mind, mental thoughts, when we say increase, we talk about there becomes an advancement, and advanced thinking corresponds to advanced action and advanced results. That means our societies with advanced thinking will be as never seen before. That we have an advancement. We did a class on this some time back. What advancements have we made in the last 23 years? The reason why we say 23 years because Pineal and Nana has been incarcerated almost 23 years. 23 years, yeah. 23 years. May 8th will be 23 years. What advancements have we made as Wu-Sabat or Sabians in 23 years? That's the question to ask. Because this is an advanced outformation. All I can say is this, is that we haven't raised ourselves up to that degree. Because this is advanced knowledge, but it means that our subconscious mind, our conscious mind has not risen up to that level of becoming super conscious or divine consciousness or what they call Christ consciousness. Because once we elevate to those states of awareness, high awareness, as it says here, there be mental advancement corresponds to mental actions and constructs. what we start to materialize will be of an advanced structural or advanced nature. We won't be thinking based upon person, places, and things. We also mentioned this a few classes behind in the past about, you heard that cliche, thinking outside of the box. You heard that before? What does that mean?
Think different.
Yeah, you think outside the box. You think differently. 100% right. But hear this stuff. You want to say something about?
No, I'm just going to say that would be thinking like naturally. So you know, we're the majority of the people. Yeah. So we have the majority of the people. Yeah, I liken it to thinking outside the box, where you have the majority of the people thinking one way, and yet you're to deal with a certain issue, but you would actually think out of the norm to actually solve a given problem.
Right. Yeah, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Yeah, you know, you're not a gas mark 9 yet, but you're getting there. You're getting there. Yeah. Now, yeah. So when you're saying think outside the box, we're saying have circular thought processes, because the box is straight line or linear thinking. You now elevate to that point whereby you now reason, so it's circular, unlimited, infinite thought processes. You're thinking outside the box. Your mind no longer trapped into personal places and things. You're now thinking outside the box. This is called mental advancement. You should see Tamaray. We had Tamaray. I can say about myself. When I first time we went to Tamaray, saw the land. It's vast, 476 acres of land. You know how much that is? How big that is? 476 acres. Like a small city. That's Tamaray. Imagine what we've built in 2025 AD. Advanced city. We had structures there. Never. We had rituals never constructed before. In the last 12,000 years, that's what we was doing on the land. Pyramids and this site, that site. The master said that's a precursor of what's to come. More advanced. Wu-Sabat will be an advanced culture, an advanced society. That's what's coming. I've never seen before in this new sun cycle. An advance, everything will be an advance. The teachers will not be the same. Even the language you're speaking. How do you speak English? That's not our language. We'll be speaking Mispatia. The beings come down. Well, it's not they can't speak English, but they speak Mispatia. So this is why it must. All these is what we need to institute. Created by us, for us. See that? So let's read some here on the clubhouse. Penny Asar Aton. The Wapians all on tie to facts and not truth, because facts are things proven to be true. Meanwhile, lies are or can be passed to be true. Right. Let's say something like this. People often ask us, it's a question you may have heard, how do you know this is the truth? Say, simple. Because in order to say whether this is fact or fiction, the master said there are 3 things: experience, evidence, and reason. Now, we cannot always use the criteria of experience, but we can use the criteria of evidence, meaning go and do your research. Once you've done your research, then you have to reason things out, whether based on my research, I looked again, and what because in order to say whether this is fact or fiction, they have to do research and to see whether it works, whether this can be duplicated again. You do your research, then you have to come to a conclusion. Or reason out whether this is truth or not, this is facts or not. However, when we use the criteria of experience, experience gives us confirmation. However, even that you have to be careful of, because we can be duped as well. The Master says that when you do your meditation, you can pray on Jesus. Yet people say they have dreams of Jesus and Muhammad. What do you look like? The picture on your mother's mantelpiece. I said that one guy had a dream of Muhammad. What do you look like? A pale Arab. Oh, okay, no. Go on,
No, I remember a Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes.
But,
that's on the
but
mantelpiece.
it is though. Look at on your grandmother's mantelpiece. That dude never had blue eyes. He had brown hair,
Right.
and he had brown hair and brown eyes, like Bob Geldof.
Going back to the last point you was making, how much weight in regards to what you were saying is evidence, research, and reasoning?
Yeah.
How much weight do you put on your spiritual awareness, lend into that? And I suppose that would go into evidence, because we've experienced certain things, and from your experience, it comes down to you have a knowing. Then I would put it down as to a knowing, which lends you to then anticipate. For example, you would have particular cultures would act in a way. You've got historical evidence of those actions, and that will allow you to understand the characterization of these people. Therefore, that would allow you to assess their movements of. Does that make sense?
The validity.
Yes, in regards to the fact of whether a certain action is factual or not in any specific case.
Records.
Along with evidence.
Records would be like evidence, okay?
Yeah.
Records would be like based upon evidence. You have records. Those records will be in a particular culture based in their language, and say this is what our ancestors recorded. Then, as an outsider who didn't know their language, we would then the most effective way to verify what they've been taught, we got to know the language, because the Master says a lot of the essence of what's been written can be lost in translation.
But then a lot of what has been written could also be falsified.
Right.
So therefore, the so-called written fact is actually a lie. And we've proven that, and we've looked through history. But I suppose you're correct in that regards, because the reason how we worked out it's a lie is by other evidential information, as you stated. And this is what I'm saying, is that then once you start to get the makeup of this consistency of deception, you start to get a spiritual awareness of, we've got higher senses within us, which then also gives us another dimensional way of looking at things, and therefore wouldn't that be evidence as well?
That's right. What you're saying here is that now you're not just you what you're saying here is that you're now using the criteria of reasoning. Reasoning things out, not just based upon information received, but based upon your experiences.
Yes.
Then you have to make a decision whether you're going to accept this as fact or accept this as just fiction. Can it be trusted or not? One example is the Anunnaki and the Nadaru. People tend to say the Anunnaki and Nadaru are one and the same. They say Enki and Ptah are the same beings, or Enlil and Bes are the same beings, and Mother Minty and Sakamta are the same beings, and they're not. What tends to happen is, the Master said like this, is that in the cuneiform, a lot of the essence of what's been said is lost in mistranslation. Let's bring it up to date. Let's say like in the Quran as well. Muslims read the Quran in Arabic. And he says that In order for you to really have an understanding of the Quran, you've got to know the language. You've got to know the language, but not just know the language. You've got to have spiritual masters who can give, they use the word tafsir in Arabic, an explanation of what the Quran is trying to say. You know what I mean? In the language, because the master said that back in the days, many years ago, when they had spiritual works, not any and everybody could just come read the tablet and say to the people, yes, God says, Jesus said he's coming for everybody on the whole planet Earth. I came to my own received me not. But those who believe unto me, to them I give the power to become Bani Elohim. Doesn't mean he's here for the whole wide world. I came to my own, but my own received me not. But those who do believe me, his own, to them it gives them the power to come Bani Elohim. Well, you make it, well, I could go to Matthew. Matthew says, I think Matthew 15, 24 or something like that, where this kind of woman calls Jesus Master, Master, Lord, Lord. My child is grievefully vexed with a devil or whatever. And Jesus said, it's not meek to give the children's bread to dogs. So, it's really easy to call the woman a dog. Matthew 15:24, I think it's Matthew 15:24. And so Jesus never came to heal anybody and everybody. He came for his own. You know what I mean? So if Jesus came for his own means his own. Look like him, walk like him, talk like him. You see? So when we read, so Master said it like this, is that when they had like scriptures or spiritual doctrine, they needed a spiritual master, one who has what the master referred to as the two-edged sword, meaning have the ability to differentiate between the, as how he puts it, the allegorical and the decisive portions of the scriptures. Meaning that which is allegorical has layers of meaning, and that which is decisive, it means this, bam, bam, bam. So the master said he's been endowed with many gifts. In the Arabic, he used the word furqan and the bayina. Bayina means to make things clear. The furqan means to differentiate between the allegorical and the decisive portions of the scriptures. See, so that are the qualities or the essence of a spiritual master. And we read about Tehuti being of Pa Honut, meaning the keepers of the secrets, and Pana Babiananan, but the Malaka Zikayo, is part of that priesthood of Pa Honotu, the priesthood. And all these orders is what he has come and goes, the selected few, not the many, the selected few, the selected sisters and the selected brothers will be initiated into these high orders, of which the extraterrestrials or those higher beings are a part of. So they'll be initiated into these orders, and they will be like Parnavakyanana, with their own orders as well. You see, but we have to be. But as usual, everybody has to be tried and tested and proven worthy to walk the path of those venerable masters who have gone before us. You see, so when you read in this second book of Tehuti, you read how many of those masters, feminine as well as masculines, only had a selected few students whom they imparted these secrets throughout the centuries. They didn't come for the masses, they came for the selected few and gave them the secrets so that the baton can be carried on. And everybody longed, the master said it's like this, and you may hear this as well, is that everybody longed to live in this day and time because they knew that Yananan would incarnate once again. Or the Hutri, or Ninkris Zada, or El-Khut, etc. So they knew that this day would arrive. Why do you think that the master teachers incarcerated? Because they don't want this right knowledge to get out. But guess what? It's not working. It's not working. The master said that no matter what they do, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The intention really now is to destroy the planet. That's the intention. They want to destroy the planet. Because they know their own overlords has told them that your expiration date has arrived. And just like the Titanic, they say, well, if I have to go under, I'll take as many people with me, go down, you know what I mean, to the bottom of the ocean. Amen. Soul multi-me. That's the intention. You know what I mean? And so there's this, what do you think? Elon Musk got SpaceX. Is it SpaceX? Yeah. Yeah, he wants to get off the planet.
It's not working so well, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't they have an issue the other day?
With SpaceX?
Yeah.
Mash up. Okay.
Jamal,
Go ahead, Jose.
yes, there are some questions on Zoom.
Go ahead.
Is it?
Go ahead, Zema.
There are questions on Zoom chat.
There's questions on there. I can't really see the questions. Can you see?
Or should I read them for you?
Please, yeah.
Okay. Let me see it here. The first one says, how do we use this wisdom to perfect the wealth, finance, opulence, and money aspect of our lives? This is coming from Tyler.
Okay, how do you use this knowledge? Right, yeah. This is money is a very unusual subject because I know people who it's a really good question. In order for us to advance, we need, without a doubt, to pull our funds together. All other races, that's what they do. If they would say they want to build a temple, they'll pull their money in together. Say they want to construct a business, they will pull their money in together. It's like the word we use is what's that word? That's my favourite word. When that's a word that we use all the time, whereby two or more forces, when they combine together to produce an outcome greater than if done individually.
The collective.
Yeah, there's a word that we use, a scientific word. It'll come up. What's it called? Sorry.
Is adhesion or cohesion?
No, it's another word that we use. That when two more forces combine to produce an outcome greater than if done individually.
Synergy.
That's the right, yeah. That's about synergy. That's synergy. So what we should be doing? We need to synergize our efforts together, and that's the definition. When two or more forces combine to produce an outcome greater than if done individually. So if two or more of us pull our finance together, we will prosper. The more, the better. And it's just not just on the physical, but we can use the same principles for the mental and for the spiritual. You see? So use that same principle of synergy, a synergistic approach. That's how we become, that's how we advance. That's how we advance. Synergy, that's what synergy. That's the definition. Two more forces. So to answer that question, how we can make more finances, synergize our energies, and we'll advance. Because no man is an island. You never see a rich hermit. So I hope that helps there.
Mm-hmm. Can I say something, please?
Go ahead, Samal.
Yeah, it's talking about this lucid dreaming you talked about. Why is it echoing? Okay, so you can use lucid dreaming to manifest what you want, including money, but you must see money as currency, because life God wants to give you all things And currently, the main skill which you get is, so when you said in the mornings you prepare your future, you can actually prepare your future and get it. So I've done that. I've actually changed reality, and I also have get money. You just have to be aware when it comes there, because it's your blessing, it's your heritage. It's,
Yeah, 100% right. Our consciousness or our awareness, we can mold our own reality. What has happened, as you said before, that the 6 evil forces, they want to intercept that state of awareness or that state of thought or mind and create a reality that is not conducive to our advancement. That's why we need our own stuff, as the master teacher puts it. That's what we meant to utilize, this 9 knowledge, that we can create for self and kind, create our own reality, not create someone else's reality that inadvertently is an irreality to us. So we are participating in someone else's construct. That's what they say in the Matrix, isn't it? We are participating in someone else's construct, not our own construct. We start participating in, we can only participate in our own construct if we construct it by ourselves for ourselves. That way we'll advance. We can never advance in someone else's construct. Now, a question is often asked, so how do we change the system? No, you can't change the system, but here it is. What we can do, we can construct our own system by us, for us. I'll put another way, do for self and kindred, kind. Buy from each other and sell to the whole planet. That's how we run. That's our thinking process. I mean, that's how it should be. That's how we advance. So the doctrine of mental, we meant to take what is useful, reject what is not, and add what is specifically our own. So we can take what we learn here in the West, take the good points, sieve out the bad points, use that which is constructive, what we've learned here, take it back, expound upon it, of which other races have done. When they came to Tamare, ancient Egypt, sat at the feet of these venerable masters, took what they learned, went back to their lands and built up their environment. You see? I was talking to my daughter today and I was telling her about that, and I said to her that you have 6 ether knowledge and 9 ether knowledge, or let's say someone could have 9 knowledge, someone could come in, absorb the 9 knowledge and transform it into 6 knowledge, 6 ether knowledge, and use it to the detriment. So knowledge is just knowledge. It just depends on how it's being utilized. So you could utilize the good and transform it into bad, or you could transform the bad back in the good. And if you continue reading, I don't think we have time, but you see, try. It's called mental transmutation and mental transfiguration. We'll read about that later on in these scrolls here. You see. So what you're reading here, and it's really surprising how we're reading the doctrine of mental, and it's pertained to our thoughts. You hear the word Tehuti, what they translate Tehuti as thought, and within the word thought, you see where they derive the word thought from. You see, so it's all in the tones, all in the tones. And when we say it's all in the tones, it's all in the tones, the frequencies and vibration. See, and all those things are within the sacred wisdom of Tehuti. Tone, frequencies and vibration, rhythm, correspondence, cause and effect. all interrelated. All interrelated. This is the higher science, or we say the wisdom, the sacred wisdom that the Master wants to impart upon us all. So we now become wise. Wax with wisdom. They say about Jesus, he came out of Egypt at the age of 13, wise, waxed with wisdom. And that's what we want to do. We don't need to go to Egypt anymore because Egypt's come to us. See, these are, and when they use in the Kabbalion, when they use, they say the Hermetic teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, what they're actually saying is that they call it the Hermetic principles, but really it is of the ancient Egyptian mystery system, or we say the AEO, the ancient Egyptian order, which the Master Teacher has resurrected in this day and time, which is going to be, that is the where the secrets are kept, or that's where the secrets are concealed, which will be revealed to those who are worthy. So we've got to make ourselves worthy. You know what I mean? Any more questions on Mr. Mal?
Yes, there is one more question here.
Go ahead.
Go back up. Yes, which is a question from Tibbs Zofa. Hope I'm reading right, the name, which says, "How do I get initiated?"
All right. Right, yeah. First of all, we have to wait for those orders to be opened. Because at the moment, those orders are closed. So we have to wait for those orders to be opened. However, in the meantime, learn and absorb, understand and apply. Learn meaning you've got to have the knowledge. Read read the information, absorb the information, understand the information, and apply the information. You see, and that will make you become of the worthy. Right? All starts with your intentions. Pa Natharo, the overseers, Paramozaku, the Riskayans, they're not. The one thing they are after is your heart. That's what they're after. The Master said they're after love and unity. That's what they're after. They're not after how much knowledge you have acquired. They're after your heart. But hear this though. The more knowledge we acquire, the more accountable we are of our actions. Because we cannot play, what's the Master Teacher says, we cannot use ignorance as an excuse. So I remember as I was talking to one brother at work, and I said to him that having more knowledge doesn't make me more knowledgeable than you, it makes me more accountable than you. Because I know now. So I have to be mindful of my actions. See? And that goes for each and every one of us. We have to be mindful of our actions. So the question is, how do we become initiated? Yeah, we have to wait for the orders to be opened. But in the meantime, do your BES, do your best. Prepare yourself, Saban, prepare yourself. Because you're not going to know when that time comes. When it comes, you should be prepared. There's an excerpt in the Bible, Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 to 4. Read that verse. It's about the 10 virgins. A very, very good. It's like a parable. The 10 virgins, a very, very good parable to read. That we could pay when the bride comes. Because that particular parable is pertaining to the crafts when they come, as in the Bible, and the bride or the groom, the bridegroom is actually part of Babylon. Read it carefully. Matthew 25, 1 to 4. That's what it talks. That's what it's talking about. When the crafts come, 5 were prepared, 5 weren't prepared, and they had to go. When time came, they got the calling. It's time to come. It's at the middle of the night. Got the calling to come. Went into the crafts, shut the door. The other 5, that's 5 went in. The other 5, here it is. They said 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. The foolish waited to the last minute to prepare themselves, but it's too late. 5 wise went into the crafts, doors were closed. The other foolish 5 came, bang on the door. There was a password they had to know to get in. But they could only get the password when they were at that precise moment. So the 5 foolish came, didn't know the password. The bridegroom says, I don't know you. Keep that door shut. Prepare yourself, because you know not when the hour will come, when the master comes, because he says he will come like a thief in the night. Many are called, few are chosen.
How do you prepare yourself? How would you prepare yourself?
Yeah, the preparation is this right knowledge. That's the preparation. That's a good question. You said, how do you prepare yourself? The way to prepare, in order for you to know how, you've got to have the know-how in order to know how. You see? So you've got to have the knowledge, you see? And have the knowledge, but the next question is, how much knowledge? Well, I can take measure out, hang on, 15 centimeters. No, it's all about doing your best. It's not about how much knowledge. You see, not about quantity, but it's about quality. And you may know one thing, drink plenty of water, that's all you know. You drink plenty of water, that could be all, that's all you know. That's all you know, that's all you know. You know that you drink plenty of water, purify myself, that's all you know. So it's not about, but you know what, like you said before, it's about your heart. It's what's in your heart. That's what they're after. That's why the Master always says, love and unity will free me. But you've got to look at it, you've got to reason it out. Not only love and unity will free him, but he's saying love and unity will free us as well. So we think, no, love and unity will free us. That's the key, that's the heart seat. And there's we talked about this a few months back, that there is, we have 12 cranial nerves. The 10th and longest is called the vagus nerve, that connects from the brain to the heart seat, the heart and all the internal organs around it, the internal viscera. And from our heart, we emanate what's referred to as a toroidal field. And this toroidal field emanates a few feet away. And that's the scientific term, a toroidal field, but in the metaphysics they would call it your aura. And that toroidal field, it's like a transceiver. You're able to receive information, but like your aura gives off color. It's like a communicator, transceiver. I mean, to classify this as it pertains to tones, frequencies, and vibration, and consciousness, etc., etc. That's what they call a toroidal field, and the shape is like that of a donut. They call that a torus. It's a shape that they call a torus. It's a class of that some time back. So all these things, it's really about your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart. That's the heart seat. And just below the heart seat, you've got the solar plex, your internal fire that ignites. You call it a solar plex. As the teacher said, the carpenters, they've got a lunar plex. You have a heat inside there that also ignites or gets inflamed by right knowledge. I call it a soul plex. They call it the word soul or sol, S-O-L, which means sun, or the word soul, S-O-U-L. The same thing, the fire, that sun inside of us, that renders us what do you call it, sun heat genes. That's what we got. So yeah, so that's it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions, Jose, on on Zoom?
Yes, we have two more questions.
Oh, go ahead.
A question from Shu that says, what will happen after the current sun cycle when the next moon cycle comes in?
Good question. That's a good question. Right now, we are at north in the revolutionary cycle, or the sun cycle, which is pulling us up. And after this sun cycle, we have another moon cycle. We will be in full power in that's first moon cycle in this 24,000 year cycle. So right now we are in the first sun cycle of this first 24,000 year cycle, where we come into full power. By the time the next moon cycle comes along, which will be at 3 o'clock, we'll still be in full power. We'll be in what's referred to as the origination cycle, from the revolutionary cycle, an evolutionary reverse. We just came out of a 6,000 year evolutionary cycle, and now evolutionary moon cycle, and now we are in a revolutionary sun cycle. We are now on the right side of what we call the SMAT circle. When we say SMAT circle, we make a reference to the SMAT stands for the circle of space, matter, and time. That's what SMAT circle means. So now we are putting the forces of natural nature, or the 94 forces, pulling us up from 6 o'clock, going counterclockwise from south to east, and that quarter there is 6,000 years sun. The next quarter going up from 3 to 12 will be a moon cycle, still on the right side of the SMAT circle. Okay, we'll be in full power of the parathyroid gland plus extended. So what will happen to us?
Zoma, to you got I don't know if it's Tibbs has had his hand up for a while.
Oh, okay, Tibbs. Tibbs, you want to that's on Clubhouse, is it?
No, in Zoom now.
Zoom. Oh, go ahead, Tibbs.
Okay, you talked about these two other elements different from what was on the Mr. Mesker, I guess, this book, Growth and etc. Two of them. Could you please talk a bit about them before the time runs out?
What was that? So that came talk
So
about.
there were 7. The hermetic principles are 7.
All right. Yes. Okay.
But there are 2 extra ones.
Yeah.
Could you please talk a little about them before the time runs out?
Okay. That's the last ones. The 8th one is the doctrine of growth, and the 9th one is the doctrine of breathing. That's near the end of. Okay. Let me quickly, since you asked it, I'll quickly jump to it. And the second wisdom. By the way, when we talk about the hermetic principles, you can get the PDF. Before I talk about it, since you quickly jump in, yeah. When you talk about they call it the hermetic principles. And if you Google Hermes, they say it's a mythological character. And they say the hermetic principles is a book written by original, so it's coming from authored by what they call the 3 initiates. I can't remember the author's name, but the Hermetic Principles was written in 1908. That's when that book was written. And they say the 3 initiates, they said that the Kabbalion, when you Google that, they say it's a unknown meaning. And the 3 initiates, they say they don't know who the 3 initiates were. That's what they say. But anyway, we know that it's taken from the Supreme Grand Hierophant, so what we. Okay, so the man asked about the doctrine of the 8th and 9th doctrine. I couldn't jump to that. It's the doctrine of growth and creation. And say it quickly. This doctrine, I'll read this. Growth, this is like beginning of the doctrine. This reads, growth is a it's in Attire, but read it in English. Growth is a manifestation of size alternating from one point in time and space to another. Now, I'm going to stop there. In natural nature, the forces of natural nature alternate and alterate, meaning alternate means change from one thing to the next, or I'm going to say alterate. Sorry, when we say alternate means move from one point to another. When we say alterate, we talk about change from one thing to the next. So in natural nature, there is always the pendulum swing of alternation and alteration. Okay, so it says here, growth is a manifestation of size alternating from one point in time and space to another. Creation is a manifestation of beginning and onto a specific designated point as found in the seed of the thought that initiates the idea of creation. All forms of growth, creation are no more than a change in that which is apparent, in which either direction the onlooker perceives it. So creation really is nothing more than growth. Like when you're born, we are growing, or we are changing, or we are alternating. Not alternating, as alteration. Okay. So this doctrine of growth, makes you realize that all things that exist on the physical plane were created or created themselves out of pre-existing matter or energy. Now this is a very pertinent point that it's making here. Read again. This doctrine, the doctrine of growth, must make you realize that all things that exist on the physical plane were created and or created themselves out of pre-existing matter or energy. Yeah, anything that created themselves means they were self-created out of pre-existing matter or energy. So there is a state of existence or of matter or pre-matter or pre-energy, and things were created out of those things that was already in existence and came into physical. And the root reality of creation is that the very word in itself, which is creation, merely means to grow. As habits grow, thoughts grow, knowledge grows, illness grows, bacteria grows, the mind grows. But through information channeled from an etheric cord from the mental, the reservoir of intellect, and the source from which the mind is fed intellect. Hear that? So this is how so in terms of mental growth, it's coming, let's read it again, from by way of the etheric cord, from the mental to the physical as out formation into information. These are realities, substantial realities, material realities. The universe is a phenomenon of life that grew into existence, meaning that the universe was not always there. The Master said that the universe is the largest living organism in existence. And there are what we call not just one universe, but there are omniverses. We use the word Kalei Makwana, or there are multiverses. We say Kafur Makwana, and we say Thalu Makwana, dual verses, triverses, and this Mahu Makwan, one universe. So that means then that there was a state of pre-existence, or as it states here, there's a as a state of pre-existence, or there was a state of existence that created existence or the universes. Okay? The universe is a phenomenon of life that grew into existence. Nothing in existence can degrow, can decreate, or degrow, or even decline from existing. There are here, everything that's in existence. They are here because they are supposed to be here, by virtue of the fact that they exist and are here. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. So, also, the spark that you call the power of God, responsible for creation, grew in darkness. What it's saying here is that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, it reads, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, called the light, whatever it's called. Yeah, so so what it is that means then that, it said, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. That basically means then that there was a state of darkness before God said, let there be light, meaning that God was in a state of darkness. You know, that darkness precedes light. Light has a limitation, a speed, 186,272 miles per second, but darkness has no speed. It is infinite where light is finite. Okay, let's go ahead. So also the spark that you call the power of God, responsible for creation, grew in darkness. Just how when we was born in the womb of our mothers, we was in that state of darkness. Okay, all growth takes place in darkness. Thus, your God or God concept is also a part of creation and growth. And without that principle or doctrine of growth, or the principle of growth, your God could not exist. Thus, your God is not merely the creator or a creator, but part of that which is and was created and grew. That's a good question to ask a Christian. You say to him, in the beginning God created heaven and earth. It's good for I said that because something just came to my mind. See what you ask a Christian. And a Muslim got to say the same thing. God said kun fayakun and be and it is. Right? So you ask the Christian this. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 it reads, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. You say to him, what state of existence was God in before and during he created the heaven and earth? And let's keep quiet. Wake me up when you got the answer. What state was God in before he said, in the beginning God created the heaven and earth? What state was he in before he created the heavens and the earth? Remember, he said the word the heavens and the earth. The word there is shemayim for heavens in the Hebrew, and eretz, earth, in the Hebrew. What state was God in before he created the heavens and the earth? And let's hear what they're going to say. Simple questions, Let's start with Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. These few words, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. What state was God in before he created the heavens and the earth? And just keep quiet and see if they can answer that question. Because now, if they can answer that question, they won't be Christians or Muslims, because they would have scientific information to have next level. they won't be in that state, because they only know about quantum physics, etc. Okay? So let's go ahead. Thus, your God, so also it's the spark that you call the power of God, is responsible for creation grew in the darkness. Thus, your God or God concept is also a part of creation and growth, and without that principle or doctrine, your God could not exist. Thus, your God is not merely the creator or a creator, but a part of that which is and was created and grew. These are the master keys that unravel the mystery of existence, as all manifest as the all, thus creation and birth. What this sacred wisdom here, and not just the sacred wisdom of what we're reading here, but all the scrolls the master teachers put out, the master secret, actual facts and Pataro, they're all master keys to unlock the locked doors. The locked doors are our minds that's been locked. Once you use the master keys, that's why we've got this book here, the master key system. So this keys it know something, knew something, and that book was written in 1908 as well. The master key system, they know. Don't think they know, they know. Same way how we were reading, remember that book 1908, that book was written, the master key system was written in 1908, it's a very, very good book as well. It's about the subconscious mind, same principles that's here. Once we use the master keys, all if the information that the master has given us is meant to use those keys. Those keys are metaphorical, you know. Use those keys to unlock those locked doors. Then, once the doors are unlocked, we open those doors and start making our journey back to the divine within inside of us. And then we start, once we reach level 1, the doors will open up. Level 2, the doors will open up. Reach to level 9, the doors will open up. Once we reach to level 9, we go to, what do you call it? Then you watch Netflix, you got episode 1. Yes, you go to episode 2. That's you go to episode 2, another start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Episode 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get to episode 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, I don't know what's probably infinite, you know what I mean? But hey, you see the transition, okay? So, these are the master keys that unravel the mystery of existence as all manifest as the all, thus creation and birth. Okay. To read here. For the past 6,000 years, lives have been passed down to us, Africans, males and females. Yes, darkness is the mother to all birth. That's correct. Keturah Ellis. Yeah, darkness is the mother to all birth. Yeah, she's mother is the one who birthed us out of her Raham womb, her garden. So that's the doctrine of growth. These are just little excerpts, but it goes into depth about the doctrine of growth and the doctrine of breathing. Oh, let's go to the doctrine of breathing now. Everything appears to be breathing inward and outward. This appears to be the principle by which one acknowledges life, but in actuality, true life existed before the breath or the necessity to breathe to exist. This doctrine teaches the breath of life. You don't merely breathe in and out, all the pores of your body breathe. Thoughts breathe as mind changes from thought to idea to creative things. When the artist conceives a thought to be put on the easel, the finished product is the exhale, the manifestation of an inner thought or breath now into existence. Pulsation, so now it's giving you a different analogy of the doctrine of breath. The thought is the inhalation, the manifestation is the exhalation. You see how he's doing it? It's not in the what's it called, the Kabbalion. Thoughts breathe as mind changes from thought to idea to created thing. When the artist conceives of thought to be put on the easel, the finished product is the exhale, the manifestation of an inner thought or breath now into existence. Pulsation is breathing, but breathing is not the sole source of life, as monotheistic religions would have you believe. that someone breathed the breath of life into you and you became a living soul. Missing that the being, be it God or whichever name they choose, had to exhale, and to accumulate the breath to exhale must have inhaled previously, which puts Supreme Being under the law of inhaling to exhale. Because in Genesis, we say that in Genesis chapter 2, in verse 7, where it talks, Genesis chapter 2, it says, God breathed into man the breath of life, and man became a living, they said spirit, but where there is raw, which is soul. So in order for God to breathe into man the breath of life, that means God had to breathe in and breathe out. Same as we breathed in carbon dioxide, or if you, so we poison what God poisoned in my name, the creation being there. God breathed in the breath of life. Yeah, so God had to breathe in, and He breathed out carbon dioxide into you, the breath of life. Unless it has a different meaning. So, but what He's saying here is, read that bit again. But breathing is not the sole source of life, as monotheistic religions would have you believe. That something breathed the breath of life into you and you became a living soul, missing that the being, be it God or whichever name they choose, had to exhale, and to accumulate the breath to exhale must have inhaled previously, which puts Supreme Being under the law of inhaling to exhale. This principle of Egyptian doctrine revealed the simple fact of origin being indefinable in terms of all, but definable in terms of the all. What Papa Yana is saying here is that Pa'ut has no origin. Pa'ut has no starting point. Was, is, and shall always be. Existence. Pa'ut is existence. Has no origin.
Actually, when you're ready, N. Brown's got a hand up, yeah?
Okay, wait a minute, okay. Let's answer the question. Put the question, please. Is that N. Brown?
I have two questions.
Two questions, okay, go ahead.
So the first one is, how do you recommend decalcifying the pineal gland?
What? Okay. What I do recommend, just off the top of my head, would be chanting. The reason why I say that is because of the tones, frequencies, and vibrations involved in chanting. That's because it will help in the declassification. You also got to look at your diet as well. Diet is a very important part. Diet is always number one. The reason why we say this is because, let's say to be fit and healthy, you go to the gym, you work out, but is diet then exercise? So in terms of decalcifying the pineal gland, I do recommend chanting, but look at your diet as well. That will help. Drink plenty of water. Do your best. That's what we say. Do your best, but the chanting does go a long way. It does go a long way. Tones, frequencies, and vibrations can decalcify the pineal gland and make it resonate once again. But remember, it's like when we use exercise, for example, people say, how can I get the 6 packs ab? Or how can I use this fat? And you say, oh yeah, do crunches. Yeah, but to get the 6-pack abs, you need to do a lot of cardio work. But you would not just lose fat around the stomach, but all over your body. So reason why we say that is because when you do chanting and it will help to decalcify the pineal gland, it would also resonate all the other glands because they all work in synchronicity with each other. Okay?
Okay. And are there any extra benefits to candle gazing as opposed to just closing your eye and meditating?
Say that again, to candle glazing.
Candle gazing as opposed to just benefits of candle gazing as opposed to just closing your eyes and meditating.
So I don't know what's that first word used?
Candle, you know, like they say you stare into a lit candle.
Oh right, yeah. I suppose to close it. Yeah. The benefits are this. What you do is when you stare at a candle now, it's an exercise. When you're staring, it's a form of concentration exercise. Okay. Then what you should do is stare at the candle, then close your eyes, and you want to hold that image for as long as you can. What you're doing is breathe in and out slowly. In for nose, really soft breathing, but close your eyes and stare at that candle. Get the image of the candle in your mind's eye. And there are exercises you can do. Another. As you're doing that, you want to split the candle, like into two, and rub down your whole body. But first, close your eyes and maintain the image of the candle in your mind's eye. And so now, what you are developing is that inner vision on your mind's eye. Which is really your mind's eye, really is your third eye. That's what you're developing. You're strengthening that. I really do recommend you do that one. Staring at the candle, it's a form of concentration. You are heightening your ability to concentrate for an extended period of time. And when you close your eyes and you visualize that candle flame in your mind's eye, you're developing your internal visualization processes, or you're strengthening the mind's eye so you can see clearly. And there also comes a point whereby you don't even need a candle.
Okay, so I've been doing that in terms of gazing and then closing and focusing on the image on my retina, I guess, for the past few days. And then eventually it disappears. And I repeat it like 3 times. But then I'm not sure what's supposed to happen after it disappears.
Yeah, the longer you do it, the more it will remain. Never force it. Try do some breathing. Really, just be soft as you're breathing in, breathing out, in from nose, out from mouth. Really soft breathing. But don't force it. You'll be able to hold it for a long period of time. But like everything else, it's repetition.
Okay, and then you just mentioned splitting the candle when I close my eyes.
Yeah, that's coming. I'm gonna book. There's a scroll many years ago the master teacher put out called "The Science of Healing."
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Many, and he talks about that splitting the candle, and how you imagine it running through your whole body, through both your arms, your legs, etc., etc. That's an exercise. That's many years ago.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Fam, I've been the landlord. Said that, give me the sign where to start, vacate the property. I hope that you found this particular class very beneficial. Again, take what's useful, reject what's not. We couldn't finish everything in this short space of time. If you want to acquire more information pertaining to this particular topic, the sacred wisdom, you could go on Google, the companion PDF by the 3 initiates, and you can read that rendition, because it's coming from, this is the source, the sacred wisdom is the source. But again, you can still learn a lot from external sources. Okay. So we'll be here again. First, I'd like to say thank you, Wu-Sabat family, for coming to class today, because as we said before, you're all the ones who make the class. And we're here, same place, same time, next week. Zoom on Clubhouse. Until next time, Ahros give and take care. Wadu Moisar.
Thank you. What do you
Wadu.
mean?